In this video, we'll explore how to customize your GNOME desktop. Whether you're on Ubuntu, Fedora, Manjaro, or any other GNOME-based distribution, this guide works for you. Since we are covering so many topics, the video is a bit long, but I've provided timestamps below so you can jump to any section. I recommend starting with the essential software part first. Once that's set up, you can skip around to focus on whatever you like, whether it's changing your fonts, icon packs, or just picking a new cursor theme. I'll be demonstrating these steps using GNOME 49, which is the latest version. Even so, you can still follow along perfectly fine if you are running an older version of the desktop. Now, while the changes we are making are safe and won't break your system, it is always a good idea to back up your important data before we begin. With everything ready to go, let's start by installing the essential tools. The first piece of software we need is GNOME Tweaks. To get it, open your software manager and search for Tweaks. Now, be careful here. You might see another app also called Tweaks that is meant for the Cosmic desktop. You'll want to skip that one as it won't work for our GNOME setup. The one we are looking for is specifically GNOME Tweaks, and it should have an icon that looks like this. If you find it in your software center, simply click Install. Or, if you can't find it there, you can download it using the terminal. Simply run the command as shown in the video. The next tool we need is Extension Manager. Just like before, search for it in your software store and hit install if it appears in the list. If it doesn't show up, don't worry, we can install it using FlatHub. First, visit the official website at flathub.org and click the Setup FlatHub button. From there, select your specific distribution. For example, since I am using Endeavour OS, I'll select that option. You just need to run the commands shown on the screen one by one in your terminal. Once you're finished, make sure to restart your computer to apply the changes. Now that your system is ready for FlatHub, go back to the website and search for Extension Manager again. When you find it, here is a quick tip. Instead of clicking the big Install button, click the small arrow next to it. Copy the first command that appears, paste it into your terminal, and run it. This is the most reliable way to get the app installed correctly. Finally, we need one specific extension to unlock full customization. You can install this directly through the Extension Manager app we just set up. Open the app. Go to the Browse tab and search for an extension called User Themes. Before you hit install, double-check the developer's name to ensure you are getting the correct one. Once that's installed, we have all the tools we need. Now, we are officially ready for the next steps. First, I'll show you how to install the theme you find on the internet. We'll start by visiting gnome-look.org, which is the most popular community website for GNOME customization. Now, I've covered the manual installation method in detail in my previous video, but for those of you who are new to the channel, here is a quick recap of how it works. Once you're on the site, head over to the GTK 3/4 themes category. These are the themes that primarily change the look of your GNOME shell and your application windows. As you can see, there is a massive list of themes to choose from. I usually spend quite a bit of time exploring different looks until I find the perfect one. For this guide, let's go with the Reversal GTK theme. Before downloading, I always recommend checking the screenshots to see the final look. It's also important to read the description to make sure it is compatible with your version of GNOME. As you can see in the preview, this theme will change our Quick Settings UI to look something like this, giving it a little squarish look. Now, go to the Files tab and download the theme. If you see multiple variants, just pick the one you prefer. For this example, I'm going with the light version. Once the download is finished, open your Files app and extract the folder. Now, here is a quick tip. Open the extracted folder and check the contents. If you see a GNOME shell folder or an index.theme file, you are in the right place. Just go back one step and copy that main folder, and then go to your home directory. Press Ctrl+H to reveal your hidden files. If you don't see a folder named .themes yet, simply create a new one. Just remember to include the dot at the beginning of the name. Finally, open that folder and paste your theme inside. That's it. Your system can now see the new theme. Now, let's apply our new theme. Open the Extension Manager and click the small gear icon next to the User Themes extension. From here, you can select the theme we just installed. As you can see, the look has changed. Even though it doesn't look that great, but this is just to show you how to install those themes. Keep in mind that applying a theme here only affects your GNOME shell elements, such as your dock, the top panel, the calendar, and your quick settings toggles. To change the look of your applications, we need to open GNOME Tweaks. Head over to the Appearance tab. You'll notice the shell option here is the exact same one we just saw in the Extension Manager. Below that, you'll see Legacy Application Styles. You can find your new theme in this list, but keep in mind that this will only style older or third-party apps. It won't change the look of modern GNOME apps, like your Settings or File Explorer, since those use a different system. Don't worry though, I'll show you how to handle those modern apps in just a moment. To see the difference, let's open a legacy app, like this terminal, and compare it to a modern one. You can see the terminal now has those new buttons from our theme, but if I open the Files app, it still has the default look. In newer versions of GNOME, the default legacy setting doesn't affect modern apps like it used to, so if you apply one of theme from there, you won't get the fully matching theme. If some of you know the solution, please let me know in the comments. But here I will show you few themes that I found on GitHub that provides custom scripts that theme the entire system perfectly, including those system apps. One of the best examples is the Orcus theme. It's a beautiful, very popular theme that offers a ton of customization during installation. To get it, head over to the Orcus GitHub page. You can download it as a zip file or simply use git clone if you're comfortable with that. Once the download is finished, extract the zippy file and open the folder. To make sure you're in the right place, check that the install.sh file is listed there. Now, right-click anywhere inside that folder and select Open in Terminal or Console. Once the terminal is open, run the ls command just to verify that all the files are there and ready to go. Now, in your terminal, type /install.sh. Stop there and don't press enter just yet. We are going to add some specific options to customize the theme. Let's head back to the GitHub page and scroll down to the section where you see all the installation options. As you can see, we can choose a specific accent color, so we have these many color options here. So the default is blue, but if you want to have a different color, go back to your terminal, type -t, and then color of your choice. For this example, I'm going with green. If we keep scrolling down the GitHub page, you'll see an option for solid versions. By default, this theme has a little transparency effect, but if you prefer a solid look without any transparency, you would simply add --tweaks solid to your command. I personally like the transparency, so I'm going to skip that one. There are plenty of other options listed here, and the developer has provided great screenshots for each, so you can easily decide which ones you like. And by default, theme will have the normal Windows style buttons, but if you prefer Mac-like buttons, you can simply add that using this command. Type --tweaks and then Mac OS. Now back to the GitHub page, this is a very important step. So if you are using GNOME 42 or higher version, your theme won't be applied to most of your system apps. To fix this, you simply have to add -l in your command. Finally, while the theme is light by default, but if you want to have a dark theme, you can switch to the dark version by adding -c dark. Once you've added all your favorite tweaks to the command, you're ready to hit enter. And just like that, our themes are installed. Let's go ahead and apply them. Open the Tweaks app and head back to the appearance settings. First, let's change the shell theme to Orcus. One of the best things about this theme is the variety. It comes with so many versions out of the box, like compact, dark, and light styles. I'm going with the Orcus Green Light version. As soon as I select it, you can see the top panel transform instantly. It now has those beautiful rounded corners and a subtle transparency. Next, change the legacy application style to Orcus theme as well. Now, for the real test, let's open a system app. As you can see, the File Explorer has completely changed. We have that beautiful left menu and those stylish Mac-style buttons. Now, a very important note. If you don't see the changes in your apps right away, don't worry. You simply need to log out and log back in to refresh the session. Just open your Power menu, select Log Out, and then log back in. Once you're back at your desktop, all those stylish changes will be fully applied across your entire system. One final touch I highly recommend. Open your system settings, go to Appearance, and change your accent color to match your new theme. Since I'm using the green version of Orcus, I'll select green here to make everything look perfectly consistent. Now I will show you another theme. If you're looking for a different aesthetic, perhaps something like this. So the theme is called Mac Tahoe. This is also created by the same developer behind Orcus. The installation process for this theme is exactly the same as what we just did. I won't make you sit through the same steps again. The process is simple. Download the theme, extract it, and open your terminal inside that folder. Just like before, run the install.sh command. Don't forget to add that -L flag so it styles your modern system apps too. Once the script finishes, just head back to the Tweaks app to apply your new theme. You'll have a fresh new look instantly. And of course, don't forget to pick a wallpaper that matches your new theme to really make it pop. Let me know if you like this theme or not, but for now, I will stick with the Orcus theme. To do that, I will simply open the Orcus theme folder and then open the terminal in that folder and run the same command again. But this time, I'm going to leave out the Mac style buttons because I don't want that, so I will simply remove that part from there. After running the script, I'll reapply the theme in Tweaks and perform one last logout to make sure every corner of the system is updated perfectly. Now that our Orcus theme is applied, we're almost ready to change our icons. But first, let's fix that app grid background. If you're fine with the default solid gray look, that's okay. But if you want a modern blurred wallpaper effect instead, here is how you do it. Open the extension manager, go to Browse, and search for Blur My Shell. Once you install it, you'll immediately see a blur effect on your panel and app menu. Now that, it doesn't look so perfect yet, so we will tweak the blur settings. So go back to Extension Manager and open the Blur My Shell Preferences settings. The first thing I will do is disable the panel blur. Since our Orcus theme already has its own beautiful panel styling, keeping this enabled can actually interfere with the theme's look. Next, let's fine-tune the blur itself. Head over to the Others tab. You'll see the pipeline option. Think of these as the engine behind the blur. Click the edit icon to adjust the settings. I recommend increasing the blur radius slightly and reducing the brightness. This creates a deep, frosted effect that looks amazing without making the text hard to read. It's all about finding that perfect balance. So now I think it looks much better, it's time to install some new icons. Head back to gnome-look.org and navigate to the Full Icon Themes category. There are thousands of options here, so I recommend filtering by rating to find the most high-quality sets first. Tela and Papyrus are a few of my all-time favorites, but for today, I'm downloading Tela and a newer set called Hatter. Of course, you're free to choose whatever matches your style. One very important tip: pay close attention to the file names when downloading. For example, with the Hatter icons, you'll see one version for KDE and another for GNOME. Make sure to grab the GNOME version to ensure all your system icons display correctly. Once you've downloaded your favorites, the installation is simple. Open your Files app, find those downloaded icon files, and extract them. Now, pay close attention here. Some icon themes extract into a single folder, but others, like Tela and Hatter, contain multiple variants inside, like dark, light, and regular. You need to make sure you are copying the individual theme folders. A good rule of thumb is to open a folder and look for a file named index.theme. If you see that file, you found the right folder to copy. Now, go to your home folder, or simply open a new window of files. Since we need to access a hidden directory, press Ctrl+H to reveal everything. Look for a folder named .icons. If you don't have it yet, just create a new one and name it exactly that, .icons. And then simply copy those theme folders, the ones containing the index.theme files, and paste them right into your new .icons folder. Do the same for the Hatter icons. Open the extracted folder, select the versions you want, and move them into .icons. Once they're in there, GNOME will be able to see them instantly. Now, to apply your new icon themes, open GNOME Tweaks one more time. And if you already had the Tweaks app open while you were moving those folders, you'll need to close it and reopen it. This forces the app to refresh and find the new files we just added to your .icons folder. Once you've restarted Tweaks, go to the Appearance tab and look for the Icons dropdown. You should now see all those Tela and Hatter variants we just installed. I've just applied the Hatter green icons, and you can see the difference right away. When you choose a color like green or purple, it mostly changes the folder colors in your Files app. The rest of your app icons will stay the same. Take a look at the Files app now. These green folders look great with our Orcus green theme, and they match the green accent color we picked earlier. Everything looks like it belongs together. Just to show you another option, I'll quickly switch to the Tela icons, and here is how they look. But for now, I'm going to stay with Hatter green because it's the best match for my current setup. Now that we've finished with the theme and icons, let's move on to the next part. I'm going to show you how to customize your dock and the top panel to give them a more personalized look. Open your extension manager and search for Dash to Dock. Go ahead and install it. Once it's active, you'll see the dock right on your desktop. Unlike the default GNOME dock, this one stays visible all the time, which makes it much easier to switch between your apps. To make it look exactly how you want, click the little gear icon in the extension manager to open the settings. Here you have plenty of options. You can move the dock to the left, right, top, or bottom of your screen, and you can also change the icon size to make it fit your style. If you go to the Appearance tab, you'll find more ways to style it. If you set the opacity to fixed, you can manually slide it to make it as transparent as you like. Since I still have the Blur My Shell extension turned on, I'm getting this nice blurred look behind the dock. If you prefer a simple see-through color instead, you can just turn off the dock blur in the Blur My Shell settings. Now, if you want a more compact look, I'll show you another way to set up your desktop by moving everything into the top panel. First, you'll need to turn off the dock we just installed. Then, go back to the Browse tab and search for Dash in Panel. You might see a few different extensions with the same name, so just check the description to find the one that moves the dock into the panel. Once you install it, your dock icons will move directly into the top bar, and the bottom dock will disappear. It even moves the calendar over to the right side to keep things organized. It also gives few extra options like moving the icons to the center of the panel, adjusting the panel and the size of the icons. Now I know some of you might want this whole panel to sit at the bottom of the screen instead of the top. By default, this extension doesn't have a simple switch for that, so we're going to use one more tool called Just Perfection. Go ahead and install Just Perfection and open its settings. This extension has tons of options for changing almost anything on your screen. You can hide the clock, the search button, or anything else you don't use. To move the panel, go to the Customize tab and look for Panel Position. From there, you can easily set it to the bottom of your screen. With the panel moved to the bottom, this is how your desktop will look. It's a much more familiar layout if you're coming from other systems. And remember, if you don't like the icons you see here, you already know exactly how to change them using the steps we covered earlier. Feel free to keep playing with these settings to find what works best for you. Personally, I prefer the original look we had, so I'm going to turn these off and go back to our Dash to Dock setup. Now, let's talk about fonts. The default font on most Linux distros doesn't always look the best, so we're going to swap it out. You can use any font you like, but I prefer a clean and simple look, so I'm downloading the Interfont from fonts.google.com. Once the download is finished, extract the file. If you got your font from Google, you'll likely see a file with variable in the name. Double-click the main font file, the one that isn't italic. If a window pops up with an install button, just click it and you're done. But if nothing happens, it probably means you don't have a font viewer app installed. Don't worry, you can still install the font manually. Just copy the font file, go to your home folder, and press Ctrl+H to show your hidden folders. Create a new folder named .fonts and paste your file right there. Now the system will be able to use it. To use your new fonts, open the Tweaks app and go to the Fonts tab. We will change the font for interface text and document text. Right now, I'm using Google Sans, but I'm going to switch it to Inner. Just click the font name, search for your font name, and select the regular version, because it usually looks the best and is the easiest to read. Go ahead and repeat the same process for the document text. While you're here, remember that you can also adjust the font size. If you increase the number, the text across your entire system will get bigger and easier to read. I usually prefer adjusting the font size this way instead of changing the overall display scale. On my laptop, everything looks tiny by default, and this is the best way to make the text comfortable for my eyes without making the rest of the UI feel bulky. You'll notice I'm leaving the monospace text option alone for now. That's because terminals and code editors need a special type of font where every letter is the exact same width. If you want to change that one too, make sure you download a font that has mono in its name. Don't use a regular font there or your terminal will look very messy. And don't forget to log out and log back in to see the font's effect properly. Now let's talk about animations. If you want to add some extra flair to your dock or make your windows move more smoothly when you resize or minimize them, there are a few extensions that can help with that. So open the extension manager. And as you can see right now, I am using the Dash to Dock extension, and I have already installed the other extensions we need. I will explain them one by one. First, disable Dash to Dock or any other dock you are using and enable Dash to Dock Animated. If you haven't installed that, of course install it first. As soon as you enable it, you'll see this dock and the icon zoom animation, but by default it doesn't look so good. It also has a few glitches we need to fix. Open the extension's preferences window. The first thing I recommend is enabling this toggle. This will add a little bounce effect when you launch an app. Then, scroll down to the Auto Hide option. By default, this is disabled, which means your dock stays visible all the time. You may like that, or you may not. If you want your dock to hide automatically when you open an app in full screen or when a window hovers over it, just enable this Auto Hide Icons toggle. Now go to the Style tab and scroll down a little. You can see the panel is touching the bottom edge of the screen. You can simply adjust this slider to lift it up a little bit. Next, I'm going to increase the rounded corners. This is just a personal preference, but I think it looks better. Then we have the background color option. Currently, it is very translucent, but I want to make it a little darker. I'll simply select the black color and then adjust the transparency. Now, I think it looks much better. Now scroll down a little and let's fix that issue we were talking about. If you are also facing this flickering issue when you hover over an app in your dock, just scroll down to the label section and hide those labels. With the labels gone, it will feel much smoother. Then you can explore other options this extension gives you, like disabling this app menu icon, adding a trash icon to the dock, or adding this download shortcuts. But for now, let's focus on another extension. The next extension is Desktop Cube. It gives you this 3D effect when you switch between desktops, and it really looks nice. As you can see, it turns your workspace into a 3D cube, making the transition between your different tasks feel much more interactive and fluid. Next, we have the Compiz-alike Magic Lamp Effect extension. This gives you a minimize and maximize animation that looks like this. It's a classic look that many people love for their setup. However, sometimes the animation alignment is off. The effect doesn't start exactly from the icon's position but looks slightly shifted. Because of that, I'm not going to keep it enabled, but now you know it's an option if you want to try it. Then we have the Compiz Windows effect. This adds a bouncy, wavy animation whenever you move or resize your windows. It makes the whole interface feel more alive and less static as you're working. That's all for these extensions. Remember, all of them offer extra settings you can check out, like adjusting the speed and the animation styles. But now, let's move to the cursor theming part. So, open your browser and head back over to gnome-look.org. Click the cursors category on the left. As you can see, there's a massive selection here, over 1,000 different styles just waiting to be downloaded. Go ahead and pick one you like. I've already picked out a few of my favorites like Arc Aurora, Future Cursor, and Babata Modern Ice. So let's see how you can download and install this Babata Modern Ice. Scroll down and go to the files to get the download options. Since I'm on Linux, I'm going to download the Linux version specifically. Once the download is finished, open it in your File Explorer and extract the folder. Now, just copy or move that extracted folder into the .icons folder in your home folder. This is the exact same place where we put our icon themes earlier. With that done, open the Tweaks app, go to Appearance, and find and select your new cursor theme. It's that simple. Here is the Babata cursor in action. I'm actually going to switch to one of my other favorites that has a green tint so it matches the rest of my setup perfectly. Now, there is a chance you might want to change the cursor size. If it feels too small or too big, just open your system settings and go to Accessibility. Click on Seeing, and right there you'll find the option to adjust your cursor size to whatever feels comfortable for you. That's pretty much it for this video. If you ran into any issues or just want to undo the changes we made, it's actually very easy to reset everything. First, open the Extension Manager. From here, you can disable specific extensions or just turn them all off at once to get your original desktop back. Then, go into the Tweaks app and set your themes and fonts back to the system defaults. Now, if you use the install.sh script from GitHub, those theme files will still be on your system, especially the Libadwaita theme for your modern GNOME apps. To remove them and get the default look back, open the terminal inside that specific theme folder and run /install.sh-r. Hit enter, and that -r flag will remove the theme. Your system will be back to normal once you log out and back in. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.